Are you good in the back, tech-wise? All right. We always have been told to stand up for what we believe in. However, recently, one predominant NFL player decided to do the exact opposite. Now more than ever, with Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown and Ferguson, and other police brutality incidents becoming household names, the time was right to make a statement. The Washington Post recently said Black Americans are 2.5 times as likely as white Americans to be shot and killed by the police. So on August 14th, 2016, when NFC Championship winning quarterback Colin Kaepernick decided to kneel for the national anthem, the story spread like wildfire. Helped by the national media and the reality of his platform, Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem has sparked a movement in the NFL community and has exposed a glaring domestic issue. The effectiveness of his non-participation is the result of the intrinsic ideology that one must stand up for the national anthem. As young kids, we're taught to always stand and be attentive to the flag, and whenever there's a large event or a sports game, the national anthem is played. And Kaepernick knew this, and he knew that his action would be so off the beaten path of everyday life that it would be recognized by the media. And that's what's important, because it was proved to be civic by the response of the media and the nation. The media covered it completely from both sides, justifying it was civic and providing a medium for Kaepernick to get his message across. He became a household name, and people across America knew why he was doing such a thing. He was called unpatriotic by some and courageous by others, but he didn't care what his title was. He cared that the conversation about police brutality was started. And that's because of the kairos of this event. These police brutality incidents I mentioned earlier were becoming common on news websites and nightly news TV shows that people in America understood why he did this. And Colin Kaepernick also used his platform and large organizations to express concern with police brutality. The Black Lives Matter movement supported Kaepernick, and together the two of them promoted making a difference for African Americans with police brutality. The Black Lives Matter movement is obviously an organization that tries to be civic and help the better of America, so having their support only backs up Kaepernick even more. Also, the NFL and some of its players have continued to help Colin Kaepernick. Recently, this past weekend, President Donald Trump attacked the NFL, saying they should fire these players if they kneel. And the commissioner, Roger Goodell, responded, quote, "The NFL and our players are at our best when we help create a sense of unity in our country and our culture. When you have your boss supporting you and many other players, especially this weekend, continuing to kneel, you know you'll have that support." Also, the NFL is a $65 billion company with nationally televised games. He knew he would be seen, but he was okay with that. Most importantly, the action is civic because there is a shared enterprise among African Americans who believe they are treated unfairly by the police. A 2016 study by Pew said that an overwhelming majority of blacks, 88%, say the country needs to continue making changes for blacks to have equal rights with whites. There's this ideology amongst African Americans that they are treated unfairly purely because of the color of their skin, and that builds Kaepernick's base, which is what he wants. But what is interesting is Kaepernick also uses who he is and his journey to relate to the masses. Kaepernick was born to a white mom and a black dad, and then was raised by two white parents. So he's seen and lived both sides of the issue, making him relatable to all. And now Kaepernick doesn't have a job. And that's probably because of this protest. But he's okay with that, because starting this civic conversation is more important to him and, quote, bigger than football. Now, Colin Kaepernick used his platform and the supporting infrastructure to expose a serious, justified problem through civic non-participation. He understood he couldn't change the minds of Americans with one action, but he understood that. He just wanted to start the conversation. And he might be deemed unpatriotic by some, but Kaepernick did successfully start this viable national conversation, civically engaging us all. Thank you.